Yo, what's up, my beautiful family of YouTube? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping on by and checking out my videos and dropping a like, a comment, subscribing, sharing, all that good nonsense that goes along with checking out content creators' videos and all that good stuff. So um, today we're gonna do something a little different. We got this simulator, and I feel like we started running before walking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of rewind a little bit. We're gonna go back, and we are going to go through this training modules, which I think are pretty cool. I've tried one or two of them. I didn't finish them all, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make a couple of videos with us going through this training uh, modules and learn how to walk before you actually run. That's the way I look at it, right? So I know I kind of know a little bit more than the average about the game because I've played with FSX and all that knowledge just carried on. But I think this is a cool addition to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and the way they did this by including this flight instructor type deal. So we're gonna go through them and check them out. All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys on the flip side. All right, so here it is. Our first lesson is going to be the basic controls and cameras. Familiarize yourself with flight environment. I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to skip this one because this is basically going to tell you your basic control and how to control the camera. I think we know that. Okay, we have the ailerons, we got the rudder, we got the elevator, and then we know how to control the camera. So that's just a waste of time. So let's go ahead and go to lesson number 2, which is going to talk to us about attitudes and instruments, the fundamentals of flight management. So let's go ahead and click on that and let the bad boy load. Alright guys, so here we are. There's a plane in the middle of the screen. So the horizontal, like we said before, runway elevation, we're already 6,100 feet of elevation. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and ready to fly, and let's take a listen to what the instructor has to say.
Today we're talking about attitudes of flight, how your plane is oriented relative to the horizon. If you look outside, you can see the cockpit is just about 4 inches below the horizon line.
Okay.
We're flying straight with a decent rate of speed. This is the cruise attitude. Let's see how it reads on your instruments.
The cruise attitude is right. Okay. Okay, what does she want us to do? I don't understand. Right now, I do not have control of the aircraft. Oh, this is my attitude indicators right here. I just don't understand what she wants me to do. Do I gotta do something with settings? No. Let's see, let's turn the objectives on. The focus on your instrument panel play. Oh, okay, so they want us to focus on it. Alright.
Take a look at the attitude indicator.
There's the attitude indicator, right? I'm sorry, I was pointing at this.
It shows your current attitude.
Okay.
The white line is the horizon, with the sky above and the ground below.
Okay.
That orange element in the middle, aligned with the horizon,
that's the plane.
That's your plane.
Okay.
Just like we saw outside, our current attitude reads pretty much straight and level.
Good deal.
Okay, now let's see how much power the engine's generating. Check your tachometer.
Yeah, which is on the other side. Right
Looks
there.
like we're pushing around 2,300 revolutions per minute.
Yep.
Combined, attitude and engine RPMs translate to aircraft performance.
Okay.
Which leads us to your airspeed indicator.
Yeah, which is right here. We're doing about what?
Now, last but not least,
90.
check your altimeter.
Right here.
To figure out your altitude, you always want to read the small
We're
needle
6,000
first.
feet.
That's how many thousands of feet up you are. Then on to the big needle for the hundreds.
Okay. So 6
With our
and
current
0 100, so
attitude and power
6,000.
output, we're holding a speed of 90 knots and a stable altitude of 6,000 feet.
Cool.
But that's about to change. Take the stick when you're ready.
Uh-oh. Okay. You sure you want us to do this, lady?
On the yoke to raise the nose just above the horizon line. About 2 inches.
Okay.
Make sure you don't pitch up too much, or the angle will be too steep to create lift. And without enough lift, we'll stall. Alright, go full throttle and start climbing. Welcome to the climb attitude.
Alright.
See how it shows up on your attitude indicator and tachometer?
Yep.
According to your altimeter, we're gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed even at full throttle, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making a climb.
Actually, we're maintaining pretty good speed. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, before we go on, let's get back to a cruise attitude. Ease up on the yoke and aim your nose just below the horizon. Then throttle back down to 2,300 RPMs.
Okay. We are there.
Nice job. We're now set up with the same attitude and power we had at the top of our lesson.
Cool.
Next up is the descent attitude.
Okay.
Start by reducing your RPMs to 1,800.
Okay.
Then drop the plane's nose a bit further below the horizon.
Okay, going down to about 1,800 RPM. Let me start dropping the nose a little bit.
As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing, while our speed is picking up.
True statement.
Why don't you get us back to a cruise attitude, and we'll hit the last part of our lesson.
Alright, going back up to 2,300. And aircraft is pitching up. Okay.
There we go. Now that we know how to cruise, climb, and descend, let's talk about the turn attitude.
Okay.
Gently pull the yoke left or right to start rolling the plane.
Cool. Let's do it.
If you take a look outside, you can see how our attitude's changed. But you can
Of
also
course.
check your instruments for the details.
True statement.
As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
Okay, we're doing good.
At the top of your attitude indicator, there's a series of notches representing 10 degrees each.
Yep.
Use them to control your roll.
Okay, we're at 10.
Notice the more you turn, the more you need to pull back on the yoke to maintain altitude. When you're
True
rolling
statement.
out, you'll need to do the opposite. Roll and push at the same time. The more you know about the main attitudes of flight, the closer you get to that pilot state of mind. So keep practicing, and whenever you're done, pass me the controls.
Okay. Alright. I think we got a basic understanding on everything. So we're gonna go ahead and go to level flight and control X to give her controls.
Thanks, I've got control now. Well done.
Cool. Well, there you go, guys. We completed the first lesson, checked, and good to go. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and go on to lesson number 2, which is takeoff and level flight. Alright, fellas, here we are with our next lesson. We are going to do the takeoff and level flight, I think he said. Right? We got the same aircraft. And let's do it. Alright, let's see what the instructor wants us to do.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take take you anywhere.
Nice. That's a good one.
Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today.
Okay.
Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear.
Okay, so let's see. We're clear on the left, and we're clear on the right. Why do they want us to?
Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. The rudder pedals should make steering the plane pretty easy.
Alright, let's make sure the parking brake is released first, which is right here. And let's go ahead and taxi and align ourselves with the runway. Okay.
All right, let's do this. Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
Okay.
Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
We're looking for 55 knots.
Good. Now gently pull back on the yoke.
Okay.
Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. And we're airborne.
We sure are.
Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to keep the runway heading of 210 degrees. Maintain 75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
Okay. We want to be at 5,500 feet, which we're almost there.
Ah, 5,500 feet. A nice, safe altitude for part 2 of our lesson. Straight and level flight. First step here is adjusting our attitude. We're in a cruise attitude, pushing max power. To stay level at our target altitude, let's start by easing the throttle back to 1,800 RPMs.
Okay.
You probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle. If you feel our pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim. The way I was taught, when you adjust the trim, you make rough changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke, then small adjustments to find the perfect setting to keep your desired attitude. That's the key to straight and level flight. It saves you from constantly pushing or pulling on the yoke. And that gives you more time to enjoy the ride. If you want more practice
I'm having a blast.
Trim, go for it. Whenever you're ready to pass the controls, I'll be here.
Alright, I think we're good. We are trimmed out, ends free, and we're gonna give you back control of the aircraft.
Okay, I have control. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Yeah, that was fun. Alright. So that was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go to our next lesson, which is gonna be landing. This ought to be interesting. Alright, so here we are, guys, on to landing this bad boy. Let's do it.
My first instructor used to say the best part of flying is landing in one piece. The man was a terminal pessimist, but he wasn't wrong. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. We've got clearance for a straight-in approach, so we don't have to complete the standard traffic pattern. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 10 degrees of flaps and idle power.
Okay.
We're on the glide slope now. Maintain speed around 65 knots. Change your pitch if you need to, and keep your aim point on the runway number.
Got
If
it.
you're targeting the runway number, you want to keep it steady in your sights.
Pretty steady right now.
If it looks like the number's moving up in your windscreen, you're coming in low.
Okay. No, we're
You'll need
good.
to add a bit more throttle to get back on the slope. If it looks like the number's moving down in your windscreen, well, then you're too high.
Okay. I think
You'll
we're
need
doing
to
fine
add
right now.
flaps to increase your rate of descent, but you'll also need to push forward and trim to change your attitude and maintain the same speed.
Okay. Go ahead and do a notch of flop. Alright, we are in landing configuration, full flaps. Dropping too much speed, so let's give it a little bit of throttle.
Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Okay.
Once we pass the threshold, shift your aim point to the end of the runway. Then, pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Okay, we're past the threshold. Start the flare. Keep pulling back slowly. Let the plane settle onto the runway. Don't push it down, but don't let it start climbing. Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
Well, there you go,
Great
fellas.
job. As they say, any landing you can walk away from is a good
It's a
landing.
good landing, for
But
sure.
if you can use the plane the next day, it's outstanding.
That's what I'm talking
Landings
about.
can be hard, even for seasoned pilots. Trust me, don't hesitate to practice. After all, that's what we're here for, right?
Exactly. Well, there you go, guys. We got landing down pat. So let's go to the next. Alright, guys. On to flight pattern flying. So let's go ahead and hit the ready to fly button and take a listen of what the instructor has to say.
Let's be honest, no one likes going around in circles, unless you're a pilot training on traffic patterns. Sedona's standard traffic pattern follows a 1,000-foot altitude around the main runway.
Okay.
By the time we're through here, you'll know how to complete the full run from takeoff to landing. So let's get started.
Alright, let's go. On to the power. We're gonna take off. So we're looking for 55 on our airspeed. And there it is, 55. Pulling up on the nose. Get ourselves on a slow climb.
When we're up, keep us aligned with the runway and climb to 5,400 feet.
Okay.
We're going for a left-hand traffic pattern.
Got it. Gotta reach 5,400 feet. I think we're almost there. 53. And
once we reach altitude, you're gonna start turning left 90 degrees toward a 122 degree heading.
122 degree heading.
Okay, we're in the pattern. Get ready to enter the crosswind section. Good. Keep going till you reach the traffic pattern altitude of 5,700 feet.
5,700
Ready
feet,
to
got
make
it.
your left turn downwind? When the runway appears at the halfway point of your wing strut, you'll know you're at a good glide distance.
Okay. So we're turning for the downwind leg, and we're looking for a runway. And there it is. Okay. We are at 57.
We've got the wind at our back now. We're on the right track. Lower your nose to a cruise attitude and reduce power to 2,100 RPMs.
Okay.
Once your speed is in the white arc, add 10 degrees of flaps to prep us for landing.
Okay.
Now's not a bad time to check if the runway is looking good.
Looks good to me.
And it probably goes without saying, always watch out for other planes entering or exiting the pattern.
Okay, one notch of
We're gonna
flaps.
fly past the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you.
Okay.
That's your cue to turn left again onto the base leg.
Okay. So far, so good.
All right, reduce power to idle to start losing altitude and maintain cruise attitude. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
Okay.
That'll also keep our speed around 65 knots.
All right. A little bit of power. We're losing too much speed. We're already in landing configuration. I descended a little too quick. That's all right.
There we go. The runway's in full view. Make sure to keep the plane centered on approach. If you're too high, add flaps. Too low, add power to maintain the glide path.
Mm-hmm. Nice and easy, guys. A little tough. A little on the tough side, but that's all right. All right, let's come to
Way
a
to
stop.
stick the landing. Now
Yeah,
just
there you
apply the
go.
brakes to slow your roll. And make sure you don't stop on the runway, of course.
Oh, well, now you want to tell me not to stop.
If other planes are looking to land, we've got to move. Take one of the taxiways on the right.
Yep, working on it. I'll tell you when I'm going to stop.
Good job. As an old instructor said to me, not only did you not die, you're really learning to fly.
Thanks. All right, well, there goes that. The landing was a little too hard to my liking, but yeah, it was good nonetheless. So, bam. All right, fellas. Our next lesson is our solo flight. So let's get right on to it and see what the instructor has to say.
It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground in radio contact if you need me, but
Okay.
something tells me you won't.
I'll try not to.
Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember what we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
Alright, we'll see you on the other side. Sounds great. Alright, first thing first, let's go ahead and release our parking brake. And we're going to start our roll. We're going to look for 55 knots on the indicator. And we're going to slowly pitch our nose up to climb to 5,400 feet. And we'll go from there. Let's do it. Alright, here you go. We got 55 knots. Ooh, a little off to the right. That's alright. That's alright. That's correct. Perfect. Okay, so we're climbing up to 5,400 feet. Let's do that. Try and maintain our speed. Looking good so far. Oh, a little too much trim. Nose down, baby. Come on. There you go. Come on, baby. Looking for 54. All right. We got 54. We're gonna go ahead and turn left. To about 120 degrees. Make sure we maintain a steady climb. All right, we'll straighten up here for a few. Continue climbing to 5,700, and we can turn left for our downwind leg and put the wind to our tail. Go to about what 30 degrees. Oh, we're going a little too high there on the altimeter, so let's descend just a little bit. Alright, we're looking good right there. Let's decrease our throttle to about 2100 RPM. Perfect. Let's descend just a little bit. We're at 58. We want to be at 5700. RPM is looking good over there on the right. Altitude is looking okay. We're we're about 50 off, but that's all right. This runway is clear. About to cross that mark there. We're gonna go ahead and give it one notch of flaps. We're already in we're in the white. Let's go ahead and give it one notch of flaps, and we're gonna turn left for base. Make sure we keep our nose pointed down. There you go. Turning left for base. far so good. I'm gonna give it one more notch of flaps. Keep our nose pointing down. Cut the power. Looking good. There's the threshold. Gonna slowly flare right about now. Not too much. Slowing down, bleeding off some speed, and touchdown. Perfect. Oh, oh. My rudder is so touchy. Turn, beast turn.
Great job. There's always room for improvement, that's life, right? But you did it all on your own. You're on your way to becoming one hell of a pilot.
Alright. Well, there's that solo flight, guys. Alright, so here we are, guys. A little recap on what we just did. The first lesson, the basic control and cameras, we just pretty much skipped that lesson because it's just, we're over that, right? Everybody knows exactly the basic controls and the cameras and all that stuff who has this game. That's really something for somebody that's really brain spanking new to this game and never seen an airplane in their lives. I will go with that first. But we started with the attitudes and instruments. We did that and we got that checked off on our lessons. We got takeoff and level flight checked off. We got landing checked off. We got traffic pattern checked off, and we did our first solo flight. Checked and done. So with that said, we have left navigation and the first solo navigation. So we'll leave these two for the next episode. We'll do them on the next episode, guys. Let me go ahead and switch it on over to Shazam, this view, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Truly appreciate you guys stopping on by and checking my channel out, giving that thumbs up, dropping that comment down in the comment down below. Let me know how you liked it, what would you like to see done better, and all that good stuff. Alright, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and go ahead and click on that little notification bell. That way you know next time I stream and or upload a video. And don't forget to share with friends. Alright, so we can grow a family and we can make this YouTube channel bigger, better, and funner, and all that other good stuff. Alright, so anyway, guys, without any further ado, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, old, new, indifferent, whatever. Alright, thank you so much. You guys be sure to take care, and we'll see you all next time. Alright, peace out.
It doesn't really matter.